Imagine standing in the ruins of something you once loved, something that mattered to you in a way words could never fully capture. Maybe it was a dream, a person, a place, or even a part of yourself now covered in dust and silence. The world moves on. The clocks keep ticking, but you remain frozen, staring into what once was and wondering if it ever truly existed at all. It's in these moments we are tempted to believe that everything ends. That time is a thief and loss is final, but that's a lie whispered by the part of you that's grown tired of hoping, tired of rebuilding, tired of carrying the weight of memories that don't seem to fit into the life you're living now. And yet, despite it all, there's a faint echo, not loud, not urgent, just persistent. It hums beneath the surface like a forgotten melody you once knew by heart. And if you listen closely, it speaks in the voices of those who've walked through fire and still found light on the other side. Elon Musk once said, "Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough." And George R.R. Martin, the man who built entire kingdoms out of grief and glory, reminded us that nothing that happens is ever truly lost. Everything we write, everything we live becomes a part of the story. And maybe that's the truth we keep missing. Nothing is ever truly lost. Not the dreams that died too young, not the friendships that faded without goodbye, not even the versions of ourselves we left behind in the name of survival. They wait buried beneath layers of time, waiting to be seen again, waiting to be remembered. And the question is not whether we've lost too much. The question is, are we brave enough to go back and reclaim it? Think about the child you once were, fearless, curious, wild with wonder. When did that version of you get buried under responsibility, under disappointment, under the weight of a world that told you dreams were dangerous? When did you stop believing that your voice mattered? When did you start measuring your worth by what others expected instead of what you knew to be true in your bones? The truth is, that child is still there, hidden in the shadows of your routines, in the quiet moments between distractions. It whispers your name, not to shame you, but to remind you of what you've forgotten. You were never meant to survive life by shrinking. You were meant to live it fully, deeply, loudly, and without apology. But life happened right. Betrayal, heartbreak, failure, illness, grief. They carved themselves into your story like unwanted chapters you never chose to write. And now you walk through life like a haunted house, pretending the ghosts aren't real, pretending the echo of your laughter doesn't still live in those memories, pretending the dreams you buried don't still beat in the soil beneath your feet. But they do. They always have, because nothing is ever truly lost. And if that scares you good, it means something. In you is still awake, still listening, still willing to feel, and that is where healing begins. Imagine this: you are not standing in ruins. You are standing in a garden that forgot how to bloom. The seeds are still there, dormant, not dead. Your job is not to mourn what didn't grow. Your job is to remember how to water it again. And maybe that's why you're here, not for answers, not for comfort, but for permission to believe again, to hope again, to begin again. And no matter how many times you've been told to move on, to forget, to get over it, I'm telling you the opposite. Go back. Go back to the places that hurt. Go back to the dreams you buried. Go back to the part of you that still believes in magic and meaning and madness. Because nothing is ever truly lost and everything can be reborn. This video is not about nostalgia. It's about resurrection. Not about wallowing in the past, but reclaiming it with fire in your chest and clarity in your eyes. Because the past is not a chain. It is a map, and every scar you carry is a landmark. Every regret, a compass, every loss, a lesson etched in your soul with divine precision. This is not about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about using it to shape something sacred, something only you can create, and you will never find that path. If you keep running from what was, you must turn around, face it, gather the pieces, and realize they are still yours. So let me ask you, when did you first feel like something slipped through your fingers and never came back? What moment? What memory? What person? What dream feels gone beyond repair? Sit with it, really sit with it, and then breathe into the possibility that it's not gone. It's simply waiting for you to remember that loss is not the end. It's the invitation to begin again in a deeper, truer, more beautiful way. And if that makes your chest ache, if that stirs something ancient in your bones, then you are exactly where you need to be. And now tell me in the comments, what is something you once believed was lost, but now you're beginning to see differently? What part of you is whispering to be remembered, to be reclaimed, to be reborn? Your story matters, your voice matters, and someone somewhere needs your courage to rise. So don't just watch this video, speak into it, become part of it. Because the moment you do, you begin the journey back to yourself, and nothing, not even time, not even pain, not even death itself can take that away from you. Imagine walking through a library where every book is a memory. Not just your own, but collective moments of humanity. Love, heartbreak, invention, extinction, whispers of joy and screams of sorrow. Echo between the shelves, and there, in the farthest corner, untouched and dust-covered, sits a volume with your name on it. It's heavier than the others, not because of how many pages it holds, but because of how many were never written. Blank spaces where you were meant to speak up, show up, rise, but didn't, because someone convinced you that silence was safer, invisibility was easier, failure was final. But what if those empty pages are not evidence of your failure, but invitations to return to write again, to fill the silence, not with regret, but with resurrection? You see, the greatest lie we're ever told is that the past defines us. But the truth is, the past informs us. It offers its wisdom, its wounds, its whispers, not to trap us, but to teach us. And the question is not, what have you lost? The question is, what are you still afraid to claim? Elon Musk builds rockets, but what he's really building is belief. Belief that what's impossible today is ordinary tomorrow. George R.R. Martin writes of kings and dragons, but what he's really doing is remembering the ancient war inside all of us, the war between who we are and who we pretend to be. These men aren't magicians, they're mirrors, and when they say nothing is ever truly lost, they are not speaking in riddles. They are pointing to the same truth you've always known, but forgot every version of you still lives inside you: the child, the rebel, the lover, the dreamer, the artist, or the warrior. None of them are gone. They are simply waiting for you to stop mourning their absence and start welcoming their return. And maybe the version of you that's watching this right now is the one who's finally ready to begin that return, to stop measuring yourself by what you didn't become and start reclaiming the parts of you that never stopped believing. Do you remember the first time you wanted something so badly it ached in your chest? Not just desire, but destiny. The way your whole being lit up at the thought of it. And then, somewhere between then and now, life convinced you it wasn't realistic, too risky, too late, so you let it go, or thought you did. But here's the thing, The things we truly love never leave. They linger, they pulse, like faint stars in the distance waiting for us to look up again. And it's not too late. It's never too late. That's the lie. The world sells to keep you small, to keep you obedient, to keep you quiet. But you were not born to be quiet. You were born to echo across time and space, to leave fingerprints on the universe, not because you're perfect, but because you're real. And real things endure, real stories matter, and real pain, real joy, real love leaves a mark that never fades. So ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped running from what was and turned around to face it? Would it break you, or would it finally free you? Most people don't want to know because they've built their whole identity around the idea of being broken. But what if you're not broken? What if you're just buried and the digging hurts? Not because it's killing you, but because it's waking you up. And waking up is painful. It burns, it rips apart illusions and demands truth. And truth is not always kind, but it is always sacred. And somewhere in the ashes of what you thought was lost, there is something sacred waiting for you to notice it, to name it, to nurture it back to life. This is not about fixing yourself. You were never broken. This is about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. This is about recognizing that grief is not just about death. It's about all the things we let go of too soon, too fast, too quietly. Your voice, your power, your innocence, your wild, your wonder, none of it is gone. It's all still there beneath the noise, beneath the numbness, beneath the armor you've built to protect yourself from feeling too much. And now it's time to feel again. Not because it's easy, but because it's real. And realness is the birthplace of change, of creation, of connection, of